This is Amara. I've got an article here I'd like to read to you. But first, before I go into this article, I've got to tell you this, man. This world is much, much, much older than archaeologists and scientists are telling us. And there's a lot of them out there that actually know that this world is much more older than they're telling us. And I want to know, why is it that they want to hide the truth from people? Now, I've got this article, and it comes from the Daily Express. This has had over 238,000 followers. This article's entitled, Archaeologists Stunned After Unlocking Astonishing Mysteries of 2,000-Year-Old Computer. Did you hear that? Mysteries of a 2,000-year-old computer. Story by Joel Day has offered up a wealth of archaeological gems over the years. The lost civilization is perhaps one of the most significant the world has ever seen, contributing to much of our everyday lives even today. Whether this be mathematics, philosophy, astronomy, or medicine, much of what the ancient Greeks came up with went on to become the gold standard for Europe. So what about before the Greeks? What about the Egyptians? Yes, what about the Egyptians and the Sumerians? Inventions credited to the ancient Greeks include the screw, rotary mills, bronze casting techniques, the water clock, and the water organ. But thing one above all has truly amazed historians, and alike after the discovery of the coast of Greece. That doesn't make sense. But one above all has truly amazed historians, and something missing, alike after the discovery of the coast of Greece. I think that should say, off of the coast of Greece. The experts say it is a world's first, and at 2,000 years old. The Antikythera mechanism is history's first ever computer, according to this writer. The Antikythera mechanism is a hand-powered orrery that the ancient Greeks would have used to predict astronomical positions and eclipse decades in advance. They would have also used it to track the cycle of the ancient Olympic Games to ensure the competition happened every 4 years. The Antikythera mechanism was found in 1901, many years before analog computers as we know them came into existence, and was part of a shipwreck found off the coast of Greece. Found off of the Greek island Antikythera. It would take a year for the experts to identify its purpose when archaeologist Valeros Stas spotted a gear hidden inside it. Here it is here. Let me try and get it up. This is the mechanism. Okay? This is supposed to be some kind of computer. This is supposed to be some kind of computer calculator. See it? See it? Okay, let's move on. Professor Tony Freeve of University College London, the UCL, of how at the time no one knew quite what to do with the odd artifacts. It was not recognized as being anything interesting when it was discovered. It was just a corroded lump about the size of a large dictionary, he said. A model of what the device may have looked like in its entirety. What it might have looked like in its entirety. Let me see if I can get this in focus. It's very difficult to get this in focus. Okay? What it might have looked like originally. Antikythera mechanism by Professor Tony Freeve, UCL-scientific report. This is up until 2021 when scientists from the UCL finally cracked the code using 3D computer modeling and recreating the entire front panel of the mechanism. There you go. Another picture of what this thing must have looked like in its entirety. This is the front part of it. You see? Let me get this closer. You see? You see? You see? In their paper published, the team revealed a new display of the gearing system that showed its fine details and intricate parts. Professor Thief wrote, "The sun, moon, and planets are displayed in an impressive tour de force of ancient Greek brilliance. Ours is the first model that conforms to all the physical evidence and matches the description in the scientific inscription engraved on the mechanism itself. Previous works had been on the relics in the 1970s, but the recent works are the most comprehensive yet." And I say again, the ancient Greeks, who do they learn a lot of their sciences from? Their history, their religion, and so forth. Wasn't it from the ancient Egyptians? Wasn't the ancient Egyptians a 2,000-year-old? This 2,000-year-old computer. That's only 2,000 years ago. How far back does the ancient Egyptians go? How far back do the Sumerians go? Okay, they said that the Sumerians was the oldest civilization ever. The ancient Egyptians, didn't they teach the Greeks and the Romans about things such as history, astrology, astronomy? Yeah? Didn't they teach them about the sciences? Didn't they teach them about medicine? I say that this computer is only 2,000 years old, but how far back does the Egyptian dynasty go back? And look at the Sumerians, yeah? They're supposed to be in the so-called first civilization, okay? And you got like cuneiform tablets and all the rest of it. So these societies are much older than Greece. And where did the Greeks like Plato and Aristotle and Socrates, where did they get their knowledge from? Wasn't it from ancient Egypt? When you go to ancient Egypt, right, and you go to Abydos, which is a region of Egypt, inside of some of these temples, they have helicopters. That's right, helicopters. And what else have they got? Spaceships inside of these temples. The ancient Egyptians, the three pyramids of Giza, up until now, not one scientist has been able to find out how these pyramids were built. Not one. They just speculate, right? They use hypotheses, but they've not been able to find how these pyramids were created. And another thing, you see these pyramids? You see them like this, like a triangle shape, but really they're a diamond, okay? Because how you see them above the earth, they're also like that beneath the earth. So as above, so below. There's nothing new under this sun. There's nothing new under the sun. A lot of technology that we have now, believe you me, it was built in the past before. And as they start to find these tablets in places like Sumeria, okay, which was in the past, what was it called in the past? You had Iraq and Iran. You had Iraq and Iran. Some of these tablets are coming out of Iraq. Trust what I'm telling you. So some of this technology is coming out of Iraq, and some of this technology is coming out of ancient Egypt, and they're not giving the Sumerians, and they're not giving the ancient Egyptians, not these new Egyptians that's living in Egypt right now. I'm talking about the ancient Egyptians. They're not giving them credit for some of the things that they've done. Look at West Africa. There's a tribe called the Dogon tribe of West Africa in Mali, which is West Africa. And they talk about the Namos, which look something like mermaids. In other words, there's some form of reptilian and needs to come out at night and teach the Dogon tribes of Mali. Now, this reptilian species taught the Dogons about Sirius A, B, and C. Okay, well before there was any invention of a modern telescope. So where did they get that information from? This is a fact. They were able to map out Sirius A, B, which is not visible to the human eye, and C. And look at Bolivia. Look at Peru. Right up in the mountains, thousands of feet up in the air. They've got cities up there with roads and houses. How did they build these cities and houses thousands and thousands of feet up in the air? They say as well about the ancient Egyptians, yeah, that these pyramids were built using hammer and chisel. Hammer and chisel. And they chiseled out the stones. The lightest stones probably weighed around about 10 to 15 tons. You think a hammer and a chisel can cut out stone like that? The thickness and the deepness of these stones? I don't think so. Scientists are lying to you. This world is much, much more older than they're telling you. It is billions and billions of years older than what they're telling you. You see, what these people want to do is to try and to keep us in the dark. To try and keep us in the dark. The pyramids, they weren't built by somebody pulling along logs, and it wasn't built by hammer and chisel. Okay? You know how long that would take to chisel out? And your chisel and your hammer would have probably gone very blunt. I've been to Egypt and I've seen these pyramids. You can't even get a credit card in between them. Society is much, much older than you are led to believe. And the people, the higher uppers, they don't want you to know this. They want to keep you in the dark so that they have much more control of you. They don't want you to follow the light. They don't want you to see the light. They want you to stumble around in the darkness. And if they keep you in the darkness, the longer they can keep you there, right, the more control they will have over you. They don't want you to see the light. They don't want you to wake up. The more often a lie is told to you as the truth, eventually that lie will become the truth. Through repetition, right? If they can keep telling you a lie, eventually that lie becomes the truth. Let me tell you, the more they can keep you in the dark, these are the uppers, the more control and power they'll have over you. They keep telling you lies, and their lies are in the libraries, and their libraries are nothing but where lies are buried. But now we're in a new time, we're in a new age, where the sun has returned, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N has returned, and therefore the lies have to go. But now we're in a new time, and we're in the sign of Aquarius as we've just moved out of the house of Pisces. It's a new time. The 6,000 years of the sun has just returned, and that means that all the lies and the deceit has to go, and in its place truth will be prevailed. Every day a little bit more truth is being unfolded. Libraries are nothing more than where their lies have been buried, and now the truth is starting to come out. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe and share. And if you want to check out this article, you can find it in the Daily Express, and it's entitled Archaeologists Stunned After Unlocking Astonishing Mysteries of 2,000-Year-Old Computer. Story by Joel Day. Don't believe everything that you read. Do your research. Eldon Amara, over and out. Thank you.